So welcome one more day to Live in Harmonia. We are here back again with Frankie to speak about the global situation and also where humanity is going spiritually and also in terms of society. Because there are prophecies and traditions which speak about the development of a humanity of light here on Earth, not in a different planet or in a different dimension. There is a prophecy about the new earth and even the future world, as in Hebrew wisdom, the Olam Haba. And in my view, that exists. It's true. I think it belongs to a different timeline, obviously, but that timeline comes from some timeline. It doesn't come just from nothing. So the beginning of that starts within, especially those who are working on themselves, those who are hoping for something greater in their own life. We don't have to change the world. We don't have to change people. We don't have to change those who are not going to change. Obviously, the world is full of evil and chaos, but something can change, don't you think?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. Yeah. From my perspective is I believe that all things have a possibility of change, you know what I mean? So but it definitely starts within. It definitely starts within. When you you're able to make that change because the inner is like the outer, you know what I mean? So when you make that change inside, that's going to reflect on your outside reality, so to say. And so yeah, when you're allowing, you know, those changes to occur, even though you might not see them, and when you're working on the changes inside and you're allowing those changes to occur, you might not see it immediately on the outside, but it's still the possibilities are still there, and the opportunities are open, and it is going to reflect into your outer world. You know, when
Mhm.
your inner world is more stable, more at peace, more connected to the Holy One, you know, you're gonna bring those divine attributes into everyday living, so to say. You know,
Mhm.
you know, because like you know, here on this channel, we say you are the light of the cosmos. So you you are you know, you're here to bring that light and be that light, so others will see. And it definitely starts with yourself turning it on and noticing it or remembering it in yourself, and then letting others just witness it. You know, others witnessing that light will notice something different, something new, something uh, you know, special, because it is special. You know, something special there that it's like, and then they, you know, it will make them at least say, I want that something special. What is this calm that you have? What is this love that you know about? What is this love that covers all things? What is this peace that surpasses all understanding, that you walk with, and you you commune with, and you actually are, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So you bring that into this present space, which does look a little gloomy at times. No, you can't deny that, for but also there's the other end of that spectrum where holy divineness, or whatever you want, words you want to use for it, are also present and available to be here and now, you know, also.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
That's a radical contrast because As you say, there are
Yes. Black and
moments,
white, you know what I mean?
yes,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
So to make the reconciliation is the key.
It is key.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Sometimes life or existence in this earth can seem so draining and dreadful that you get tired of the whole thing. But remembering, you can also see that there are moments worth living, even the painful ones, especially when you look back and you say, well, I was living this at that time. I did not understand. I made mistakes or
Right.
something happened. But here am I. I'm fuller now with more understanding, more capacity to overcome obstacles.
Mm.
And that's worth living. It's like a plus or a bonus. Something grows. Mhm. And as you said, the outer mirrors the inner. So if there are so many wars and conflicts, deceptions, what is going on inside humanity is total chaos.
Yeah.
And something is not illumined. Something must be understood, digested, transcended,
Yes.
overcome. Actually, many years ago, I started to compose a song with a lyric that mirrors this aspect. No? Forces from the underworld are dragging every soul. The other part was forces of the underworld are calling our attention. So
Mm.
it's like something makes us suffer, but so that we transform it. It's like a cry for help from the forces of darkness. That's how I see
Yes.
it in myself, even. The SOS,
Yeah.
Serpent's operative
Serpent
system.
operating system. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. But it's kind of like too when you think when a newborn baby cries out, it's crying out for love. It needs that love. It needs to be held in its mother's arm, its father's arms, in the father mother's arms, and be held and swaddled and let it know, hey, that too shall pass. Hey, that too, it's gonna be okay. And yeah, looking around, I think that one of the key words that you mentioned and what you was explaining was the attention. Okay, because we all know your energy flows where your attention is. You know, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you give that so-called negative aspect your attention, you're actually giving it your energy. So
Mhm.
why not switch your attention, your focus to the Holy One, the highest of the high, so to say, and let that be where you live from
Mhm.
and where your attention goes? It's because both choices are there. So it is like it is, you have to be intentional with your intentions and choose wisely because you know bad people, so-called bad people choose good things and so-called good people choose bad things. But why? You know, where that's that the opposite, you know, where that's it's why, you know, why do bad things happen to good people? Why do good things happen to bad people? So to say, using the words that we have to use, you know, to try to explain the situation. But I think a lot of it has to do where's your attention? Where's your attention focus? Where is your intention? What is
Mhm.
your intention with this certain situation that you're in? You know, are you trying to gain leverage on somebody? Are you trying to be authentic and live from authenticity and truly help this person? Or are you trying to use them for some nefarious purposes? Because all that's going on in the moment. So, where you put your attention with intention is is a big key on how we shape our outside world and how we shape our inner world also,
Mhm.
you know.
Here, the great problem is that we have personalities that are completely crazy or puppet, and they can wonder what the hell is the Holy One. No, I don't see the Holy One. That doesn't exist. I only see darkness.
There
And
is that. Yeah.
most people live with those personalities.
Yeah.
So the key is to open the space for that other personality which is willing to work to be attuned and
Yeah.
little by little be shaped like the mad.
Mm.
No,
Yeah.
you can be mad or the mad
Yeah.
MUD
Right.
in the hands of, well, the working energies of consciousness, conscience, the holy source. Now, when you have some experiences or guidance, even in other dimensions, it's easier to
Yeah.
remember because you know you don't need to believe or
Right.
to pray to something abstract. No, it's
Yes.
something really tangible, at least
Yeah.
in the feeling center. And when you reach that stage, it's easier. Even though I meet many people who ask for help and they see this in abstract, they think there is something greater and they want to overcome certain patterns of addiction. But I sense their struggle because something in them is not fully convinced. So the
Mm.
dichotomy, the duality is greater.
Yes.
In those cases, it's much more difficult. This might be what we call the embryo soul. It's a soul that has not been fully born to this new baby stage of
Yes.
realizing the Holy One, the divine, or a better way of living is true.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's why the master would use the analogies of sowing and reaping, because
Mhm,
if even if you don't have an like don't have the understanding of the divine, you can understand what you sow is what you reap. You know what I mean? What you plant is what you're gonna get. So that kind of like boils it down to uh simpler terms. You know what I mean? Where you could say, okay, if you plant you know good seed, you're going to get a good crop. You're going to plant bad seed, you're going to get not so good of a yield. And
mhm,
so and I think that's to touch on what you said too, that's that open space. That's that little divot, that little the stick you use to plant the seed. You make that little space and you plant that seed. Sometimes I think that's we're called here to be sowers. So we're sowing the light, we're sowing the word, and we might not see that, even that husk on that seed crack open, let alone see a sprout or see a tree and then see fruit. But we know, at least we're going along the path. We're still sowing along the path, you know what I mean? And we know some are going to hit fertile soil and some are going to hit rock and some are going to be eaten by birds. And but I think when we turn our attention to sowing the seeds, then there's more opportunities for others you know, um, to see, to utilize those seeds to the benefit of all,
mhm.
because
Yes.
yeah, because it feeds, because it will feed all, in a sense. You know what I mean? A plentiful field will feed all, and even you leave the gleanings of the field for those who have nothing, so to say. So at
Mhm,
least they have something to eat too. You know, because try to go ahead and explain the Holy One to somebody who's hungry. All they're thinking about is getting something to eat. You know what I
mhm,
mean? But when you feed them and so to say, feed that darkness or that temperament that seems to be dark, and it calms it down a little bit, you know what I mean? And then you have that opportunity, then you could then they'll see from a different perspective instead of seeing from a hungry man's perspective, a consuming fire, so to say. They will see from a um a refiner's fire that would
Mhm.
refine the dross instead of just consume everything, you know, because that's the world we live in. It's called a consumer. We live in a consumer economy. What's it do? It just eats everything up, you know,
Mhm.
and it's hungry, hungry, hungry hippo, you know. So, but really, when you then the more seeds that you sow and the more gleanings that you leave, that feeds that hungry hippo to a point where it can take a second to sit and reflect and at least, you know, not be like feed me, feed me, feed me kind of
Mhm.
mentality, you know.
Yes, that's the key of giving or sharing
Yeah, absolutely.
and making something that can help others find the tree of life, which is the interconnection,
Yeah,
the full,
that's that donation.
exactly, do,
Yeah. Yep.
donation, do, the real do of the universe.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think it was Newton who said, we are like dwarfs on the shoulders of giants. And that's very true because, well, humanity was doomed to destruction 2000 years ago. So, were it not for the work of Master Yeshua and the apostles, there would be no earth as we know it. That's a
Mm,
fact. Some say, no, Christianity failed. I'm not thinking about Christianity as it is understood. No, no, I am
right.
speaking about,
Truth.
yeah, the truth, the true work
Yes.
of those who inspire a connection with the
Mm,
totality of the universe and the intelligence of the
yes.
universe. And that made a difference, especially in the life of some of us. No?
Yeah,
We wouldn't be here were it not for this teaching.
absolutely.
And I think it's the coherence or understanding of the growth what brings certain guarantee.
Mm. And another word for apostle is disciple, right?
Mhm.
And then disciple is close to discipline. So it takes some discipline, self-discipline, you know, not outside discipline, not like, you know, yeah, you know, but it takes self-discipline to, you know, use your attention and use that energy to to focus on the higher things and give energy to the higher things and not the lower. But also not to leave the lower where they're at. Also, ain't it about raising the lower and trying to bring some sort of harmonia to all?
Mhm. Yes, to align ourselves to the pole of the universe is something that brings a transformation. No? And in that sense, we are disciples of our higher selves, no? of ourselves,
Right,
not just an external Lord or something completely separated or
right,
holy as it is understood in religion, no? That we are
right,
the unclean and God is the Holy One.
right.
No, you cannot enter the tree of life from uncleanness.
Mm,
So it's what is pure in you, what is already inside, and an extension of that tree. And that's the only one that can overcome the
yes,
falsehood.
beautiful, beautifully said.
Mm. Even though there is always a risk of believing one is God, which is something rampant in many religions in the East
Right.
and New Age, UFO
Yeah.
religion, because some
Yeah.
creatures are appearing,
Yeah.
are channeling through people, and they say, no, you are gods, you are
Wow.
the whole universe. Okay, calm down, because some of those entities fell before humanity, and they are trapped in dimensions they don't know how to get out.
Mm.
They're in the fourth dimension. And the question is, why do they need those machines, no flying machines, the UFOs? The tree of life, there is something much more advanced, Merkabas of light.
Right.
It's not
Wow.
metallic UFOs,
Right. Yeah.
because there are humanities that use those sort of dimensional materials
Yep.
which look like metal. I don't know what kind of metal they are,
Right.
or mineral. It's obviously something from a planet, can be the Earth as well.
Right.
But we don't need that in the tree of life. We can cross the universe with our higher soul.
Yes.
Even Adam, no, could see the universe coast to coast before the
Right.
fall.
Yep. From
Mhm,
glory to glory. Yes. All glorious.
mhm. And
Mm.
there is a development, I think. Maybe some of those aliens or humanoids at some point belonged to what it was called Adam. Adam did not find the appropriate helmet, so they
Right.
had maybe a sort of proto-Adamic consciousness, and they had contact with the voice of the Holy One, but they did not understand because their passion or technological understanding or their will to become gods made them deaf,
Right.
completely Luciferian in some cases.
Yeah, you just must be reading my mind because that's the thought that popped into my mind
Mhm,
was when Lucifer says, "I am going to raise to the rank of God. I am going to sit on the throne." You know what I mean, kind of thing. So
mhm,
yeah, where is the there is no domination in love. You know, in true love, there is no conquering in true love. You know what I mean? So it's like where is the you know, the humbleness and the understanding and the knowing of the one who is the giver of all good things, you know? And where is the that common thread of kindness that would make you want to give back everything that was given to you because you was given everything. Where's that line, you know, like you know, talking I guess I'm trying to say in so many words, where's the humbleness in saying I am just like the Holy One, you
mhm,
know, where you are a whole of a whole lacking nothing, but you're you are certainly a whole of a whole, but you're not the whole in itself.
mhm. Yes, God is our being, but we are not His. We cannot deplete the totality.
Right.
We are olons
Which
or wholenesses when we are attuned, obviously. But there is something greater, always greater.
mm,
That's the essence of the sun. I was thinking about the real meaning of the Son of God, no? And I realize it's the humility, humble love,
mm,
the expression of love. So the Father is the Spirit in its most primordial and invisible phase, but it manifests as a love, a sacrifice. The Master was sacrificed
yeah.
even before the foundation of the world, as it is translated, even
Mm,
though it says katabole to cosmo. Katabole is to throw something. Katabalein is throw something down.
yeah.
And the cosmos is the universe. So the universe was thrown down by
Yes.
some crazy architects. And even before that, the Holy One had in his mind a mind and a heart that sacrifices itself for the world and incarnates in darkness
Yeah.
to bring light in darkness. And I
Yeah.
think that's the Son, the loving expression of liberation in this world
Yeah.
through,
Of this.
obviously, an inspiration, no? The Holy Spirit and the Spirit of truth, the emotional and mental phases. It's beautiful. Mm.
Absolutely beautiful. That's a beautiful picture. Yeah, the sun. I mean, even in the scripture, we have the parable of the vineyard, the vineyard keeper, and who else is the father going to send if he can't go? Because he's going to send his son, of course, and that's the representation of the father. You know what I mean? That's the the he brings the father's message. He only says what the father has asked him to say. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And he only does what the father asked him to does. And in humbleness and in the knowing of the father's kindness, who knows better than the son that sits at his feet and learns and knows all things, and the father shares all things with him. What better aspect to try to understand that aspect of the father as the son,
Mhm. Yeah.
that brings the light, that shines the light, that gives heat and warmth, as we know our sun, that gives us heat and warmth and growth, and everybody looks and ain't that funny? And here where we're at, right, in this construct where we're at, first you got the mourning, right? Mourning. It could be sadness, right? The mourning is another word for sadness, depression, downtrodden, something like that. And then you got the night. Then you got darkness. And in
Mhm.
between that, you got the sun. And the sun comes in between the morning and the night.
Mhm.
And to bring light and to fill that space between the morning and the night, the sun is
Mhm.
there, all encompassing in between. You know what I mean? So really, I think that's why they say that he is no, 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 before, and he always will be that the sun. He, not that the morning and the dark is outside of the sun, because nothing is truly outside of the Holy One. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? But it is disconnected to a point where it may not feel the Holy One or know the Holy One, so to say. But that sun is you in a dark space, you sad. Guess what's right in the middle? And what takes up most of the day is the sun,
Mhm.
So where you put your attention at, you put your attention on the sun, not on the morning. You're not mourning, not on the night, not in the darkness, but the sun comes to illuminate the morning. He says he gives and takes away. I believe that he gives all good things and takes away the mourning, takes away the pain, or allows you to, like, as you are a firsthand got firsthand knowledge on going through a very difficult time, a very painful time, that he brings you through that, and he's with you through that, and he brings that sun, that light, that understanding, that everything in that period of morning and also in that period of night. Because as we know, even here, just because we can't see the sun don't mean it ain't there. It's always present somewhere. And it
Mhm.
and and sometimes even in our same sky, we could see the sun and the moon, which is the representation of night, all both in the same sky at one time. So there is never a time where the sun is not present to help you through that morning, or that darkness, that night you may be going through.
Mhm. It's like seeing the hieroglyphs of existence, or the trees, stars, planets, people are symbols in themselves.
Absolutely.
allegories, another way of
Yeah.
saying, but we
Yeah.
are somehow very dumb or very deaf. We cannot listen to the logos, as
Mhm.
Heraclitus said.
Yes.
And definitely the universe as the mother is giving birth to the son as well. So the son has to reconcile that aspect of duality and unity, the origin.
Mm.
But without a son, there cannot be a father. So there is
Right.
no father without the son. They are codependent, just as the mother,
Absolutely. Yeah.
father, mother, son. That's
And,
the archetypical family, cosmic
yeah.
family.
Yeah. And the daughter in there, you got the Yud Hey Vav Hey, right?
Exactly. The daughter is a human soul. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's
That's absolutely
beautiful.
beautiful. Absolutely
It is.
beautiful.
You know, it's
It
awesome.
it is
Yeah.
what many ideologies are trying to destroy. The idea of a family
Yeah. Oh,
having
absolutely.
cohesion.
Wow.
That's how they
Yeah.
control the world.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Once you draw that first line, oh, watch out because there's just many more to follow. That's why
Mhm.
we got to understand Holy Source, the Holy One, and there is no lines. It is all inclusive. You know what I mean? So and then yeah, they know divide and conquer, you know, and cause confusion and chaos and make you feel like you're in night or you're in morning, but no,
Mhm.
the sun always rises. It's faithful and true. You know what I mean? There's so and you know when you think of it, you know we got our localized sun here that is could be considered a life giver in some sort of way because without the sun, you know, the trees depend on the sun and all the you know the animals and the everything depends on the sun. If we didn't have the sun, this I don't know if it's artificial, you know, or whatever it may be here, but it's a slim comparison to the absolute sun
Mhm.
that that penetrates and imperviates all. They say, where can you go to hide from the Father? You can't go under a mountain. He's there. The absolute sun goes into and through a mountain. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? The absolute sun goes, shines on the bottom of it, the deepest, darkest sea. You know that there's nowhere where the absolute sun is not present. You know,
Mhm.
so
Yes.
it's just like it's the knowing that and then and not giving all that other you could call it filler or whatever your attention, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not say turn a blind eye to it that it don't exist, but just know that you're here to be a representation of you're here to be a ray of the sun to shine your little light into this space to where you can bring true life, you know, true
Mhm.
and all the divine virtues that fall under that, you know.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah, that requires the development of the personality, which is something that we can touch later.